Do you find it hard to keep your elbows locked when performing handstands? If so, you need to watch this video. To have a strong overhead position, you need to have a certain level of shoulder flexion, shoulder external rotation, and shoulder elevation. If you struggle to put your arms overhead with your biceps touching your ears and your elbows locked, you're missing some or all of the above criteria. Chances are you have tight lats and or tight pecs. So here's a simple test you can try. Sit on the floor with your knees bent and your back flat against the wall. Do not allow the lower back to arch. You need to pull the rib cage down and press the lower back into the wall. With your elbows locked, rest your forearms on your knees. We'll start by testing one arm at a time. Keeping the elbows locked, lift one arm overhead and try to touch the hand against the wall. Do not allow the lower back to arch off the wall. Keep the elbows locked and bring your biceps up to touch your ears. Can you touch the wall? Test the opposite arm. You then want to test both arms at the same time. Performing single arm is easier than doing both arms, but in most overhead movements, we place both arms overhead. I often see people struggling to touch the wall without bending the elbows. This is a sign that you lack the mobility required to support a weight overhead. You might be thinking, I can press weight overhead and it doesn't cause me any issues at the moment. Chances are you're allowing your spine to arch. You're not keeping the lower back pressed against the wall. This creates the illusion of overhead mobility, but it also places a lot of load into the lower back. Can you press a weight overhead without arching your spine? I suggest you start improving your overhead shoulder mobility because arching the spine during overhead pressing increases the chance of shoulder injury and lower back pain. Two primary actions of the lats are to extend and internally rotate the shoulder. Hence, if your lats are tight, you're going to find it hard to lift your arms overhead without bending the elbows or arching the spine. Two primary actions of the pec are transverse adduction of the shoulder joint and depressing the shoulder. When the pecs are tight, you're going to find it hard to flex the shoulder and elevate the shoulder. Therefore, it makes sense to stretch both the lats and the pecs to improve your overhead position. There are loads of great shoulder flexion stretches that can be used to stretch the lats and pecs. I find many of these stretches help make long-term improvements to the overhead position. If you have tight shoulders, you need to be doing these stretches regularly to increase your shoulder mobility over time. However, I find foam rolling can be a short-term solution. Foam rolling is not the answer to long-term flexibility. However, foam rolling your tight lats and pecs before doing any overhead work can positively affect the training session. For this reason, I've been asking many of my online clients who have tight shoulders to perform the lat smash and the pec smash before their handstand training sessions, and it's been working. Clients that have been unable to lock out their elbows in a handstand have been making progress. Some have reached lockout and others are a lot closer than they've ever been. As I said, foam rolling is often only a short-term solution, and I still believe ongoing shoulder flexion stretches are needed to create long-term change. If you have tight shoulders and you're struggling to lock out your overhead pressing movements, such as handstands, give this a try and let me know how you go. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel.